We were discussing that one should always consider that whatever is happening, we were discussing when we discussed one example of how the spirit soul is very minute and it cannot be perceived even by the most powerful microscope, because our soul is spiritual. And yes, this is true that the form is very fine, very minute, and apart from that, because it is spiritual, so we can't perceive it with our material eyes. Our material eyes cannot perceive the dimension of the soul. So yes, one should understand this thing, that even we are soul and we are not able to experience this thing. So this is amazing illusory energy of Krishna. So one should always consider that behind all these activities is superior, supreme personality. Okay, let me just read this again. The living entity works in the material world just as the office worker works at his job, and a service record is kept of his performance. The living entity does not know what the opinion of his superior is, but his service record is kept in the office nonetheless. According to his activities, he is awarded promotion or increment of pay, or sometimes he may be demoted or even fired. Similarly, for all our activities, here are witnesses. Therefore, it is said in the scriptures that the living entities are under superior supervision and that they are rewarded and punished according to their work. So, you will see many times any person, if he is not doing anything, but then also he is rewarded with good things. Or any person, he has worked so much hard for achieving something in his life, but then also he receives failure in his life. So this is all because of his past deeds. His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj was telling this, that any person who is starving for food in this life, and if he has scarcity of food or stuff like that, then he definitely didn't give any charity in his past life. That's why he's suffering like this with scarcity of food. So yes, we are responsible for whatever we do. This one should understand. Okay. So now we have human bodies, but in the next life we may not have them. We have something else, better or lower. The type of body is decided by the living entity's superiors. Generally, the living entity does not know the signs of how the spirit soul transmigrates from one body to another. The spirit soul transmigrates even in the duration of one life as the body changes. Yes, so you will see that every moment our body is changing. Today only Prabhuji was setting an example that whatever age you are in right now, suppose you are 30 or maybe 35, then you may see your photograph when you were 15, when your age was 15, and you will see that you were completely a different personality. You know, the spiritual masters, the sannyasis of ISKCON, if you will see their photographs when they were young, then also you will not be able to identify. You will be in illusion Oh, this was Guru Maharaj. Prabhuji was telling about His Holiness Loknath Swami Maharaj today. So you will see in our old photographs, or even if you are 20 or in your 25, then you can see your childhood photographs. You can't even, you know, you will be perplexed that, oh, is this me? I used to look like this before. So yes, even in this life also, our body is changing. The spirit soul transmigrates even in the duration of one life as the body changes. So actually, like before 2 days before, I was telling one person that that person was very much excited to celebrate birthday of another person. So I was telling her that it's not birthday, it is actually death day. We are, our age is passing and we are not taking birth. As our age is passing, so we are actually dying. So it is actually not birthday, it is death day. Every year we are losing 1 year of our age. So we are actually dying. So whatever past photographs you see, that is your dead body. Because that you that body is not with you now. You are in different body now. So yes, when the body is first manifest in the womb of the mother, it is very small, just like a pea, and it gradually develops 9 holes, two, two eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, one mouth, one genital, and one rectum. In this way, the body develops, and as long as it needs to develop within the mother's womb, it remains there. When it is sufficiently developed to go outside, it comes out and grows. Growth entails changing of the body. So, growth means any person is growing, means his body is changing. This change cannot be understood because it is imperceivable. Yes, this is so true. You actually come to know this thing that you are changed, means your body is changed when you actually see your past photographs. Otherwise, you just think I'm the same person. There is no difference. But you actually come to know this thing when you see your past photographs. That, oh, I used to look like this before. So this change is imperceivable to the living entity. Just see now, our nails are growing, our hair grows, beard grows of Prabhuji's, not Mataji's. So yes, this change is imperceivable and it cannot be understood. But if you become little aware, then you will come to know that it is changing every moment. In childhood, we had small bodies which now no longer exist. And even if you desire very hard to get those bodies back, then also you can't get it. Similarly, because of the nature of material things, we have to change this body when it ceases to work. Means if the body is of no use, if it's not serving its purpose, then it has to be changed. Every material thing deteriorates, and like a broken machine or an old piece of cloth, the body becomes useless after a certain length of time. Although this process of growth is always taking place, the educational system in modern universities though considered advanced, unfortunately does not deal with this. We have never been told that we are not this body, we are this soul, we are soul. Have you ever read something like this in your, not your, but yeah, in newspaper? People print about who has left their bodies or who have, died and they have went to heaven planets, heavenly planets, but no one tells that uh, they have left their bodies and now their soul is being transmigrated in another body, because they don't know about this, so they never tells this. So yes, although this process of growth is always taking place, the educational system in modern universities, though considered advanced, and unfortunately does not deal with this. Actually, there is no education without spiritual knowledge. And in Bhagavad Gita, you will see Krishna quotes few shlokas in which Krishna tells that whatever being covered in these verses is real knowledge, and apart from this, everything is useless. Krishna is telling this straightforwardly, that if any person is gaining any knowledge and it is beyond these topics, there were specific topics, and if anyone is gaining knowledge beyond these topics, then that is actually useless. So material, and there Krishna haven't mentioned about the materialistic knowledge, materialistic studies, so that is actually useless. So there is no education without spiritual knowledge, because that education, that material education, is actually a lie. We are not this body, but that material education never tells us anything beyond those four animalistic things. And we are soul, we don't have to do anything with those animalistic things. There is no need of a soul for mating, for sleeping, or even for eating. But then also we have to sleep and eat for the sake of, you know, to run this body. But you will see by time also, by time, gradually, as we are practicing our spiritual activities nicely, you will become detached. You will become detached by time. Krishna will make sure that you become detached with this eating and sleeping. Because at that time, we will be experiencing the higher taste. We will be relishing whatever we'll be doing for Krishna. We'll be relishing Hari Nam so much. Yes, we will reach at that stage soon in future. It's just the matter of time. So one can learn to eat, one can learn to earn bread, eat, sleep, and mate without a formal education. Do you agree we really don't need any education for these animalistic things? Because animals never get any education. They have so much dull consciousness. They don't have elevated consciousness, but then also they they are actually um, advanced in these animalistic things because they are animals. Just like if we talk about sleeping, so we can't compete polar bear in sleeping, and eating we can't compete elephant, And whatever other things, apart from these four things also, whatever human beings are doing, they are thinking that this is something superior, swimming, running, jumping. You can't you can't compete monkeys in jumping or kangaroos running. You can't compete lion, tiger, or what to say, cheetah. They run so fast. And swimming, you can't compete dolphins. So yes, we can't compete animals in these animalistic things because these things are meant for animals and not for us. So we really don't need any formal education for these things. Animals are not educated, they are not technicians, and they have no university degrees. But they are also eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Yes. So they never go in colleges or universities to gain any knowledge about these topics. But they can easily do all these things if the educational system simply teaches these processes. It does not deserve the name of education. That is not education actually. Real education enables us to understand what we are. As long as man does not develop his consciousness by understanding the truth of the self, all of his actions will be performed in the mode of ignorance. A human life is meant for victory over the laws of material nature. So, are you understanding this thing that we can actually go beyond these laws of material nature? What are the laws of material nature? Uh, Four things are there: birth, death, old age, and disease. So we can actually go beyond these laws of material nature. We can actually win a victory over the laws of material nature in this uh, form of human life. Actually, we are all trying to attain that victory in order to counteract the counteract the onslaught of material nature. The ultimate victory is to conquer birth, death, disease, and old age. But we have neglected this important point. So, see, Prabhupada ji is telling this thing that we are all trying to attain that victory. We are trying, but in wrong way. Suppose if any person, if he's getting old, so you will see they always have fear that, oh, now I'm getting old. Now I may not be looking nice. Have you ever seen people? They always try to hide their age, their real age. They put lots of whatever face packs and stuff so that they can uh, get rid of all the wrinkles on their faces. They just put color on their hair so that one should not know that, oh, they have gray hair. You might have seen this thing. One point is coming in my mind, but I don't want to put it here. I will I will say that in at the end of the class. I will not be recording that. But yes, so people are trying to get victory on all these things, but in wrong way because they are actually opting temporary solutions. If one get diseased, so they will consume medicines and they'll be all right for some time. Of course, it is not said, I'm not saying that you should not cure your disease, otherwise you will not be able to do your spiritual activities and other work also. People will not be able to do it nicely. But yeah, we can actually win a victory over these things permanently. If the education system dealt with the proper utilization of what God is supplying, it would improve. All the fruits and grains we eat are given by God, who supplies food to all living entities. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. Our living entity is food for another. Sorry, one living entity is food for another. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.13.47. Animals without hands are food for animals with hands, such as ourselves. Animals without hands are food for animals with hands. Animals without hands are food for animals with hands. Animals with no legs are food for animals with four legs. Grass is a living entity, but it has no legs with which to move, and thus it is eaten by cows and other animals. So you will see grass is also a living entity. Such non-moving entities are food for moving animals. And in this way, the world is in a constant struggle between exploiters and exploited. So, see, for animals are actually bound with material nature. With, yeah, they are bound with nature, rules of laws of nature. They are bound. Just like any cow, if cow is starving, so she can't consume meat. She will only consume grass. And if any lion is starving, then he can never consume grass. He may die, but he will never consume grass. He'll consume meat only. So, one living entity is food for another. Grass is also living entity and it is food for cows. And for lion, meat means flesh of other animal, just like deer. So deer is living entity and he becomes the food of the lion. So see, for animals there are no rules because they are already bound in the laws of nature. But for us, rules are there. We have to follow rules. So one should understand this thing that if any human being, if he is killing animals, then he is being violent towards animal. He is actually committing sinful activity. That is a sinful action. And if any person, he is, whatever fruits and vegetable he get from the trees and plants, and if he is chopping the tomato or whatever fruit or vegetable, then that is also violence. That is also a sinful action. Now, question may come, what? Then we should not consume fruits and vegetables? Yes, fruits and vegetables are meant for us only. We like that is our food, but it is violence when we do not give it to Krishna. That's why we give it to Krishna. We give those fruits and vegetables to Krishna. And see, it is not possible in this material world to live a complete pure life. When we breathe, then also so many insects or bacteria kill. We kill so many bacteria or insects when we breathe. Even though we are not able to, it's not visible to us, but then also it is a sinful action again. If we are drinking water, then also so many bacteria kills at that time. Whatever water filter you have at your home, you are filtering the water. So in that process also, so many bacterias and whatever enzymes or means living entities in easy term, those are killed. Same you will see any farmer, he's farming in his farm. So then also so many insects are killed. So violence is everywhere in some or other way. We are committing sinful activities, we are committing sins in some or other way. But we should not do it um, intentionally. We should not kill any insects or animals intentionally. But yeah, if even not intentionally, if we do it unconsciously, just like we took so many examples right now, then also it is a sinful action. So the intelligence is that whatever we consume or whatever we use, we give it to Krishna first. And Krishna is so merciful, he accepts those things from us, and Krishna transforms those things. He makes it spiritual, transcendental, pure, supremely pure. So, intelligence is that we give whatever we use, whatever we consume, first we give it to Krishna. So, yes, this way the world is in a constant struggle between exploiters and exploited. We can't completely avoid violence in this world, but we can minimize it, and we we can live a pure life, complete pure life, when we are surrendered to Krishna, when we are devoted to Krishna. The weaker is exploited by the stronger. This is nature's law. Traditionally, Vaishnavas or devotees of Krishna do not eat meat. This is not just for the sake of vegetarianism, but for the furtherance of God consciousness. In order to become God conscious, one must follow some rules and regulations. Of course, one has to eat, but the proposal is that one should eat remnants of foodstuffs that are offered to Krishna. I hope it is clear now. I was discussing this topic with so many people. I discussed this topic in today's afternoon class also. And today, we got the exact reference from Srila Prabhupada here, which we discussed today. So, intelligence is that whatever we consume, we offer it to Krishna. Idea is to eat remnants of foodstuffs that are offered to Krishna. This is also the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, which we will discuss in our next class if Krishna is willing. We will stop here now. Thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.